Mongwanani Malelepo Fukenjani Klekwas Vanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Bedi. These are some of the stories we're looking at today. Tanzania's president dismisses foreign and information ministers. African Union addresses integration issues at Ghana conference. And the ICJ rules Israeli occupation of Palestinian territories violates international law. 1up2.com, DSTV 285, GoTV 25, and Network Media Hub on YouTube is precisely where you can find us. We'll also cross over to Mike Sichula as he brings us the news stories from Zambia. For now, we'll take a quick break and return with the top stories.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Tanzania's President Samia Suluhu Hassan has fired two senior members of government, including the foreign minister, in a mini cabinet reshuffle. Her office said the changes came as Hassan seeks to regain trust from foreign powers over a program of economic and political reforms, including easing restrictions on opposition parties and media that some critics had been seen as faltering. The presidency announced late Sunday that Hassan terminated the appointments of the Minister of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, January Makamba, and the Minister of Information, Communication and Information Technology, Nape Nnauye. There are influential figures in the ruling party, Chama cha Mapinduzi. No reason was given for their removal. Makamba and Nnauye did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Now, the dismissal of Nnauye comes a week after comments he made surfaced in a video saying elections results would depend on who counts votes and announces the results. Now, the African Union convened in Ghana on Sunday to address issues related to African integration and to establish a unified stance before engaging with the G20 and UN. Mauritania's president and current African Union chair Mohamed Sheikh Ghazouani urged the acceleration of the African integration process. He stressed the importance of expediting economic integration to support the continent and fulfill aspirations of African citizens. Discussions during the meeting centered on financing mechanisms for African Union projects, particularly the funding of the organization itself, which heavily relies on contributions from non-African partners. Now, the International Criminal Court of Justice has ruled that Israel's actions in East Jerusalem and West Bank amount to annexation and violate the prohibition on the acquisition of territory by force. The United Nations highest court on Friday delivered its opinion on the legality of Israel's 57-year occupation of Palestinian territories. While the findings by judges at the ICJ are not binding and unlikely to have any effect on Israel's policies, the ruling does carry weight under international law. Reading the findings of a 15-judge panel, ICJ President Nawaf Salam said Israel is violating international law with its settlements. Salam said all the arguments that were brought forward by 52 states and international organizations during the hearings were valid. Now, the American Association of Petroleum Geologists hosts its Africa Regional Conference in Windhoek at the Hilton Hotel until Wednesday under the theme From Frontier to Discoveries, Namibia's Journey to Major Oil and Gas Discoveries. Maggie Shino, the Namibian Petroleum Commissioner, delivered the keynote address yesterday where she called the Namibian oil exploration story remarkable. She says that Namibia has in recent years emerged as a promising frontier Tanzania for oil and gas exploration. This transformation has been driven by a concerted effort from both public and private sectors, united in the pursuit of unlocking Namibia's substantial natural resources, she said. Companies brought their expertise, advanced technologies, and financial resources, further accelerating Namibia's journey towards becoming a recognized player in the global energy landscape, she says. Now, Kenyan authorities have appealed for help to find containers of a highly toxic chemical that were looted from an overturned lorry near the capital city, Nairobi. Sodium cyanide is dangerous and can kill if swallowed or inhaled, even in small amounts, health officials warned, adding that it also poses a major risk to the environment. It is not uncommon in Kenya for trucks to be looted following a road accident. After the lorry overturned on Saturday, several containers were taken by people who rushed to the scene. The government urged people to avoid the site, which is on the busy Nairobi-Nakuru highway, while the U.S. Embassy advised its citizens to take a detour. The accident happened about 35 kilometers from Nairobi and caused a spillage on the tarmac. It is unclear what caused the lorry to overturn. All right, we're going to take a quick break. Those have been our top stories. After the break, Mike Situla joins us from Zambia.
Welcome to Namibia, where adventure meets tranquility. With Enjoy, you have access to a wide range of accommodations to suit every traveler's taste and budget. Experience the finest dining and hospitality Namibia has to offer. Booking your dream accommodation is just a few clicks away with Enjoy. Join thousands of happy travelers who have trusted Enjoy for their Namibian getaway. Your gateway to unforgettable Namibian adventures. Visit us today at enjoy.my.na.
All right, it's time for us to talk to Mike Situla in Zambia. Mike, Muribanji.
Niribuino Muribanji, Africa, good morning to our dear viewers.
Africa, good morning. Indeed. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema says COMESA is targeting to provide electricity access to more than 100 million people over the next 7 years.
Yes, President Hakainde Hichilema, as the chairperson for COMESA, says the regional body is mobilizing 15 billion United States dollars through the World Bank to accelerate sustainable and clean energy across Eastern and Southern Africa. Mr. Hichilema says the International Development Association has already committed 5 billion United States dollars for this project. He added that this is aimed at providing electricity access to more than 100 million people in the region over the next 7 years. So this is a message that President Hakainde Hichilema delivered this week, and he is hopeful that member states of COMESA are going to do everything within their part to ensure that when this money is available, facilities in their respective countries will be in place so that the provision of clean and sustainable energy will be implemented without problems.
All right, Mike, we'll see how that one develops. Now, police in Lusaka have arrested 2 people, including a Zimbabwean, who were masquerading as medical doctors since 2017.
Yes, this is something that a number of Zambians have been asking to say since 2017. It has been a long time, and how did these 2 manage to evade arrest? So the suspects were operating from the University Teaching Hospitals of Lusaka, which is the biggest referral hospital in Zambia. And according to investigations by police, the suspects were prescribing expensive medicine and drugs to patients affiliated with an insurance, a government-controlled insurance medical body. So these activities prompted NEMA to query UTH management, who identified the 2 suspects masquerading as medical doctors under UTH. The first suspect is Mr. Amon Machosa, a Zimbabwean claiming to be a 6-year medical student at the University of Zambia, and Ms. Chibwe Kasumba, an environmental health officer and employee of a private company specialized in vaccine in Lusaka. So these activities have been going on from 2017 until 16th June 2024, when the suspects were arrested at the University Teaching Hospital. So during this period, the suspects have been forcefully operating as doctors under UTH, prescribing expensive medicine to the patients. So the police have not disclosed what the motive was and how the suspects were benefiting once they prescribed expensive medicine. Of course, others are saying the suspects were conniving with the private pharmaceutical outlets, where once these patients goes to present the prescription, then they will definitely get a cut thereafter. So police are yet to give further details on this matter.
All right, we'll certainly be looking forward to that update as well, Mike. Now, President Hakainde Hichilema has been busy, as he should be, and he's made cabinet reshuffles following corruption allegations leveled against his administration by the opposition. We touched on this story yesterday, but it's always good to get an update from the ground, on the ground rather.
So the past 2 weeks has been busy for the government, because the government of the UPND came on the scene with a promise to ramp out corruption in the government. But what has come out in the last 1 week is something that a number of people are saying there must be rampant corruption in the UPND. So what President Hakainde Hichilema has done, he has made two swaps of cabinet ministers. One is the health minister, Sylvia Masebo, who has been transferred to the Ministry of Lands, and the Ministry of Lands has also gone the opposite direction. For the Ministry of Health, there is a story that has been going on where 61 containers carrying medicines were actually marooned at a private facility instead of it being distributed across the country. So this is one of the stories that has caused a lot of controversy, because people are saying there is a lot of corruption in the way it was handled. Then the president also dissolved the SCC, the Anti-Corruption Commission board, but one of the board chairperson has come out after the commission was dissolved, saying during his time as the board chairperson, he was not given time, he was not given information to operate, because he claims he was sidelined by authorities. But State House has come out saying if the board chairperson was being sidelined, as he said, why didn't he say it when he was still board chairperson? So they have rubbished his claims of having been sidelined and denied access to any information on ongoing investigations and prosecution in terms of the fight against corruption.
All right, Mike, we'll see how that one unfolds. Now, with the Olympics just a few days away, Zambia's captain, fantastic Barbara Banda, has been listed among the top 10 players to watch, to keep an eye on at the Olympics.
Yes, so according to the BBC Sports website, the second most expensive woman player in history stands tall against 9 other players in the world. So, for instance, during the 2022 Olympics in Tokyo, Barbara Banda became the first player in the Olympic history to score back-to-back hat-tricks, and doing so in the group against the Netherlands and China. So Barbara Banda this year at the 2024 Olympics, she's standing tall against the likes of Brazilian's all-time leading scorer Marta, who is a teammate at Orlando Pride in the United States. Then also 2023 Ballon d'Or winner Anita Bonatti of Spain, and also 34-year-old French defender Wendy Leonard, and 19-year-old Colombian star Linda Cesido, among others. So it will be interesting to see if Barbara Banda can overpass her past performance at the 2020 Olympics in Tokyo during this 2024 Olympics in France. Then Zambia kicks off the Olympics against the United States of America on Thursday this week.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that one, and it's easy for me to choose a team to support, considering the Zambian that lives in my home and whose home I live in. Thank you very much, Mike, for bringing us the news stories.
We are excited because we've got more support from Namibia as well. We need that support, and also from Zimbabwe. We need that support behind our back. Thank you very much, and I wish our dear viewers all the very best during this week.
All right.
Africa, good morning.
Africa, good morning indeed. You got it from the man himself, Mike Sichula, always making sure we're informed on the news stories in Zambia. Let's have a look at the weather predictions before we come through with a blockbuster economic news story. Old Harbour and List Namibia is separating from Pick and Pay South Africa. See you soon. Now, the O&R Group, through WUM Properties Limited Trading as Pick n Pay Namibia, owns and operates 19 Pick n Pay branded retail stores in Namibia under a franchise agreement with Pick n Pay South Africa as franchisor. The O&R Group, through WUM Properties Limited, has given notice to terminate the franchise agreement with Pick n Pay South Africa by 30 June 2025. This strategic decision aligns with the O&R Group's Vision 2029 aspirations. Sven Tiema, Executive Chairman of the O&R Group, stated, "Our priority has always been to serve our Namibian customers with excellence and to contribute positively to our local economy. We have formally notified Pick n Pay South Africa of our decision, and we are committed to a 12-month transition period effective 1 July 2024 until 30 June 2025 to ensure a smooth and orderly transition. During this time, we will focus on minimizing any disruptions to our employees, customers, and business partners," O&R said. Now, the Mozambican authorities are working with an Indian contractor engaged to work on the Mozambique-Malawi high-voltage transmission line to accelerate the current pace of progress. In recent statements to Noticais, the Director of Electrification and Projects, Electricidade de Moçambique, Claudio Dambe, acknowledged that progress was so far disappointing, which is why an action plan had been drawn up. Now, Dambe indicated that a first evaluation of this plan could be carried out this month, saying, "Right now we have technicians on the ground to assess what has really been done, and I believe that we will have the results in the next few days," he said. Those have been our economic news stories. Let's have a look at the indicators just before Ari brings us the sport.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with tennis news first, and it is at the moment the clay season again. That was after Wimbledon was completed on grass surface, and the reason for the clay season is the Olympic Games. It's going to be played on clay at the Roland Garros venue in Paris, and that will start in a few weeks' time. Two tournaments in the men's division that was played over the weekend finals on Sunday. It was the Hamburg Open, and there it was under Arthur Fils of France. A great win for him. He's the number 5 seed. A great win, beating the number 1 seed Alexander Zverev by 6-3, 3-6 and 7-6. Earlier in the quarterfinal or the semi-final, it was also Fils that beat Sebastian Bias, the number 3 seed, by 6-2 and 6-2. Then also the Swedish Open that was completed, and it was also the final on Sunday. There it was Nuno Borges of Portugal that got the better of Rafael Nadal. He beat him by 6-3 and 6-2. That is Borges to win the title. Good news for Rafael Nadal at least is that he played in the final and got through the whole tournament. He was injured in the first round, after the first round of the Roland Garros tournament, didn't play in Wimbledon, and according to reports he's ready to play in the Olympic Games for Spain, and that will be on his favourite surface at Roland Garros on clay. Moving on to cricket news, the second test was played between host England and the West Indies at Trent Bridge. A win for England. England won by 241 runs. It's quite convincing. It didn't look like that in the first 3 innings. England posting 416 in their first innings. West Indies followed that by 457 in their first innings. And then it was England that set the West Indies 385 to win. And they fell short. They only scored 143 runs in their second innings. The best bowler there, Shoaib Bashir. He's the spin bowler for England. So Bashir took 5 wickets for just 41 runs. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is Formula 1 racing news. The next one on the calendar will be this coming weekend. It's the Belgium Grand Prix on Sunday. The past weekend was the Hungarian Grand Prix, and it was McLaren that won that race. Oscar Piastri winning. It was a 1-2 for McLaren. In the Constructors' Championship, it's McLaren now getting closer to the Red Bull team. It is still Red Bull that leads by 389 points. 59 points back is on 338 is McLaren now, creeping closer to them. Ferrari is in 3rd position. And it was over the weekend, McLaren with the 1-2. It is still in the individual standings. Max Verstappen leading on 265 points, followed by Lando Norris in his McLaren on 189. And then in 3rd position, it is Charles Leclerc on 162. Oscar Piastri, after finishing first in the Hungarian Grand Prix, is 5th on that list now, 149 points. Exciting Grand Prix in Belgium waiting on Sunday. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you for staying with Africa. Good morning. Let's have a look at the highlights from the broadcast. Tanzania's president dismisses foreign information ministers. African Union addresses integration issues at Ghana conference. And O&R Group and Pick n Pay part ways in Namibia. Those have been our stories. DSTV 285, GoTV 25, oneup2.com and Network Media Hub on YouTube are precisely where you can find us. From me, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, Swera Jaganaka.